and welcome back. I'm Janelis.
And I'm Levon.
And hope you have your coffee hot and ready and a little sweet for today's bitter crime story. You're listening to Coffee Meets Murder. So, Levon, last week we went to...
Libertinos.
We went to Libertino, and it was an experience.
It was an experience.
It was an experience. We drank coffee, obviously.
Yeah.
But the way that we ordered it...
But not the way we ordered it. Where we ordered it from.
Yes, the area's being very... how do you call it? There's a specific name when you grab... like
Stone Age?
No. No, I'm not talking about the actual place.
Oh.
I'm talking about, like... Is it gentrify when you gentrify an area? Is that how you call it? When you get like a really bad area and you kind of like start constructing new thing and then it starts to look a lot nicer. I think so.
Okay.
Or maybe. Well, anyways, that area is becoming really nice. They're opening up new shops and things like that. And Libertino's right in the middle of Wynwood.
Yeah, it is.
Right in the middle of Wynwood. It's a coffee place. You walk in. It has a very nice aesthetic vibe, right?
That's to be debated.
Are we rating this? It was very stone.
Yes.
Stony, like how you just...
Yeah, your counter, right? So the counter that you order from a computer. That's number one. Which is, I mean, whatever. It's the 21st century, whatever. You order from a computer,
like
whatever.
an iPad.
Yeah, whatever. And they work from the same counter, right? On the other side, they got to whatever.
Right. That's
it's
how
a stone.
Starbucks is.
It's a stone counter. I guess for aesthetics,
it's just a brick.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
it's just
a brick,
you
bro.
walk in and it looks like just a brick was put there, and they kind of just made a flat surface.
That's it.
And
big ass rock.
I like how everybody was sitting and like doing work stuff on the.
Yes, it did feel like another.
We went on a Friday morning.
Was it Friday morning?
I think so. It was Friday morning, so some people were working, but it was very chill. I will say that. Very calm, very relaxed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was,
they
had inside and they had an outside
They
seating.
did have an outside seating, and they also had different like options of seating. Like it wasn't just chairs and tables.
Oh yeah, they had there was a big table in the middle, right? So you'd sit like amongst other people, I guess, whatever. And then they have little individual tables.
Right, and then they had like couches, like a lounge area. Gave me like Friends vibe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that area did give me somewhat Friends vibe. And they had like a library. Oh no, not a library. Remember a wine.
Yeah, it was a wine.
A winery aspect to it. They had like how do you call those? Like
so
wine shelving.
You pointed it out when we were there. You're like, oh, they have a wine shelf or winery, whatever. So when I turn around, bro.
I said, is that wine? And then when I looked, it was like 4. Like when I really looked, it was like 4 bottles of wine.
Yeah, bro.
And like a whole wall of things. Maybe it's new. Maybe it's new and they just constructed it or whatever. It's nice. It's nice. It's also a good place to like eat lunch.
Yeah.
Somewhere else and then go in and get a coffee.
Yeah, they had a pretty good menu.
The coffee wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
The area is also really good for, to try out new things as well.
Yes.
They had that how do you call? Is it Indian cuisine? Is that how you call it?
What?
Like food from India? Anyways, they had that kind of spot right next to it.
It's called. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It does have a name to it, like Mediterranean. No.
The Mediterranean is from the Mediterranean Sea, and India is from Asia, like the continent of, not the continent, but the country of India is in the continent of Asia. Anyways, I'm moving on. You got it together. It is not Mediterranean cuisine. Anyways, I'm going to move on.
Okay.
So, my case today is going to be about Amy Bradley and her disappearance. Okay?
Okay.
And how she disappeared. And we're going to go into the logistics and the theories of the ending, right? Of where we think she is today.
Okay. Perfect.
So, we're talking about a family who goes on vacation on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
Ooh, okay.
It's called the Rhapsody of the Seas.
Okay.
And their daughter, Amy Bradley, goes missing. Okay, but we're going to start from the beginning. All right. Also, I don't know what... I know that I'm going on a cruise soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know exactly what cruise line it is.
Ooh.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Rhapsody cruise is still working today.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. And knowing that, like, it's still working today and things like that have happened, like this have happened.
When's your cruise?
It's in July.
July.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, well, then,
I mean,
worst case, you're an episode on the podcast, you know?
This is not funny, Levon. It's not funny whatsoever, and it happens very often, actually.
You're right. It is. Yeah, you're right.
I can't. Oh my God, I'm moving on. So the whole idea of them even coming up for on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a family that's based and lives in Virginia.
Okay.
The whole idea of them going on vacation in the first place is because the father, Ron Bradley, had been working hard at his company, and so they decide to thank him. Not only him, but a few other co-workers, and so they gift them this trip.
Okay.
They gift them the trip of being in the cruise. They give him the trip of the cruise.
Okay.
Right? So as a thank you, they gift him the vacation, and he runs home and he's like, we're going on a cruise, and his family's like, hell yeah. You know, because if my dad comes home and he's like, we got a free cruise, you best believe I am there.
Of course.
I am right there.
Of
okay. So the family starts to get ready, as you do, right? When you have a vacation and you know it's coming up, you start buying clothes, you start getting a haircut, girls start getting their nails done, their hair's done, right? Because you're going on a trip. And for some reason, it gives you more of a reason to get all those things done. Right. Right? When you go on a cruise, especially buying clothes.
Yeah.
Do you buy new clothes when you go on a trip?
Actually, yeah, I do.
You do, right? I do too. I go, okay, I need new bathing suits, I need new cover-ups, I need new everything.
Yeah, who wants to wear all the old shit, you know?
Right, the old the old stuff that you only wore once to your from your last vacation.
That's only for your hometown. Like, come on.
Of course. Now it's just, you know, people have seen you with that already.
Yeah.
Who cares? Anyways, so you know how that goes. Before they left on the cruise, Amy was a 23-year-old girl who was living what many would consider a successful young adult life.
Mm-hmm.
Amy lived in Virginia and had recently graduated from college. She was athletic, outgoing, independent, and known for her strong personality.
Okay.
Friends described her as confident and street smart. She wasn't someone people imagine would easily become a victim. Amy was also a competitive athlete. She had spent years playing basketball and possessed the typical of physical strength and determination that made her stand out. So she wasn't a dainty girl. You know, she was out there playing with the boys.
Yeah.
I know I can't play basketball because it is a contact sport. Ain't no way, right? That I would be doing that. She did it. So you already kind of know that she's not going to be someone who lets herself get completely taken over.
Right.
If I do say so myself. Okay. So, according to family and friends, Amy had recently graduated from college, had a good job, and was moving into a new apartment and was looking forward to future plans. She was even due to pick up a new dog that she had recently adopted right after she came back from the trip. Okay. So there was a lot going on for her. All right. And so off they go on this ship that departed all the way in Puerto Rico. Okay. And it began traveling through the Caribbean islands. Okay. We're very familiar with that.
Yeah.
We're very familiar with the Caribbean islands. That's all we ever do on cruises. While on the trip, that sounded so privileged.
Extremely.
I'm so sorry.
Extremely.
I'm so sorry. But that's like our go-to when we want to go on a go trip and we have something. Yeah. It's an easy trip that's a bang for your money.
Yeah.
Okay. So while on the trip and for several days, everything was completely normal. The Bradley family enjoyed excursions, meals, and entertainment aboard the ship. Something that they did find weird, though, but they really didn't pay no attention to it at the time, was that the staff was very attentive to Amy. especially while at dinner. You know how those dinners go, right?
Yeah,
You have like a specific time frame, you sit, and you will always have the same waiter.
Yeah.
You kind of, depending how long your trip is, you kind of even start becoming friends with that waiter, and you're like, I know everything about him.
Yeah.
You know? So that's how, they got the vibe to that. And then they didn't pay attention to how much they were actually catering to Amy up until they had the captain's night dinner. Okay. And you know how in this night, it's where everyone dresses up nicely, the girls with the dresses and the men with the suits. And then you go up to regular dinner. Yeah. And you sit. That night, while they were there, the staff was so attentive to Amy that everyone made a joke of it and said that if anyone needed anything to have Amy ask for it. Because then they'd get it. They'd for sure get it, Right. And so if you've ever been on a cruise, you would also know that on specific nights like these, certain staff is set up to take studio-like pictures. Like the backdrops and things like that. Yeah. They're set up around a specific floor, and then if you're on that specific floor, they'll be like, hey, come, let's take a picture. Or you yourself with your family, you can go and take a picture. In this specific time, they would actually come up to Amy, specifically Amy, to ask to get her pictures taken. And then at some point she's like, no, I don't want to, it's okay. She was kind of didn't want to. Yeah. Until eventually she did relent, and she was like, okay, fine, I'll take a couple pictures, which it's normal to take a couple pictures on cruises like this, because when do you normally have the opportunity to take studio pictures? True. So she did go and take pictures by herself. She did end up also taking some pictures with her brother. Okay. And, the family also made a joke about how it looked like a prom picture because of the way that they positioned them. Yeah. But it was a nice photo. And then, eventually taking pictures with parents and things like that. You know how it goes. Yeah. Right. After this, there's a section on the boat where you go and you get the pictures. Right. Right. Okay. Back then, you would go and the pictures would already be printed out. So you would grab the picture and then you would go to the front or go to like the cashier area. And pay? And pay for the picture. Okay. It's not like now. Now you go and it's all digital. Mm-hmm. You see the photo on an iPad. Yeah. And you kind of select what you want. You pay for it. The girl gets the receipt on her side. And then she has the order. Like your order of pictures. Yeah. So then she'll tell you, come back in 3 hours and they'll be printed. Yeah. And that's how they do it now. But before you would go, you would look for it. Everybody would see your pictures. You would walk in and you see everybody's pictures. Yeah. You would get the 5 that you wanted. You would leave the rest there and then you would go get them paid. Okay. So they did that, right? Amy and her mom went to go see them. But when they went, they kept looking for them and they weren't there. So they go up to the girl that works there. And they said, hey, where are our pictures? So when she looks in her system, she says that they have already been purchased. Oh, that's weird. So weird. So they asked if they can be printed again, and they brought their own. They brought their own pictures and went on their way. Okay. Right. So they're like, okay, yeah, that's weird. Whatever. Keep going. Again, not thinking anything about it. Maybe someone had mistakenly paid for them, grabbed them, thinking it was them, and that's it. Right. That night, they went back to the cabin, they changed into regular clothes, and then they went out on one of the nightclubs, in which the parents were out until maybe 10, 11-ish. And then they said, we're going to call it a night. I love you. Goodbye. And when they said their goodbyes to Amy and Brad, Amy and Brad had stayed, and then the night went on for them, right? They stayed at the nightclub, them too. So the passengers danced, and the music played, and people celebrated their vacation. So on this cruise, they weren't the only ones that got awarded the cruise, right? Remember that some other coworkers from his job did get awarded the same cruise, and they all went together. Okay. So these people did see Amy and Brad stay behind and see Amy and Brad interact with other people within this time frame. So Amy was sociable and danced and even caught the eye of a bandmate from the band that was playing at the time, like on the cruise. Right? Right. She even got to speak to him and was even dancing with him. Okay, so this was seen happening. Nothing about these interactions appeared alarming at the time. But shortly after midnight, Amy and her brother returned towards their cabin. They had a cigarette and one last drink on the balcony of their cabin before going to bed. Okay. Disgusting, by the way. Stop judging. It was like the 90s. It was a thing.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? It's called like a nightcap.
Disgusting.
After you've been drinking, you drink one last one when you go to bed. Lavon, you have stories. Don't come at me right now.
Not with cigarettes. The cigarettes is the disgusting part.
Oh, I guess. But to each their own, I mean, that's what they wanted to do. Again, the 90s. It was the... I know, don't smoke, guys, but still, So Brad stayed with her outside on the balcony up until around 3 a.m. and then said, "I love you, good night," not knowing that it would be the last time he would see her again.
Okay.
During the early morning hours of March 24th, Amy's father woke briefly around 5:30 a.m. and saw her asleep in a chair on the balcony of their family cabin. So he woke up and he kind of said that he looked at the cabin towards the outside the doors and he kind of saw her feet dangling outside and just assumed that she was like outside sleeping. He saw her asleep in a chair on the balcony of their family cabin, and not wanting to wake her up, he went back to sleep and later woke up around 6 a.m. and saw that she was not there and her cigarettes and lighter was missing, but her shoes were there, which was weird because it was the shoes that she had been wearing the night before.
Correct.
So I'm assuming he checked the cabin, he checked the balcony, he checked the bathroom, and there was no sign of Amy. So when he realized that she was not in the room, he went out in search for her. But after looking for her in all the common areas and spaces, and no sign of Amy, he began to get worried. So he went back to the cabin because he's like, maybe she went back.
Right.
He went back to the cabin, saw that she wasn't there, and then told mom and brother, Iva and Brad, told them, I don't know where she is. I looked for her and like she's nowhere to be seen. So they all go out to set out for her. Okay. They all said, well, maybe if we have more than one person looking for her, then there's a bigger chance that we'll find her. Maybe we just missed her.
Yeah. Spread out.
Right. So at first there was no panic.
Okay.
Family members assumed that she may have gone for an early breakfast. Maybe she was walking on the deck. Maybe she was taking photographs of the island that they would soon visit, because they hadn't docked yet.
Ooh, okay.
In where it was, they hadn't been docked yet in Curacao. That's where they were docking that morning.
What is it?
Curacao.
Okay.
And before you dock, you can obviously see land.
Yeah, of course.
So they were like, maybe she's taking pictures of the island, But as minutes passed and they and they kept looking and no sign of her, concern began to grow. Her shoes were still there, and many of her personal belongings had not been taken, and no one could find her. The Bradley family immediately notified cruise staff, but they refused to make an announcement of any kind because they did not want to alarm the passengers. So they go to the desk, like the front desk of what you would call like the hotel.
Yeah.
Right? They go to them and they speak to staff. The staff goes, before we make the announcement, let's just go and then we'll all look for her, So they all went and looked for her. No sign of her. So then the dad goes, well, then I need you to make an announcement because, hello.
Right, of course.
And the main guy of the whole thing, I forgot what he's called, but the main security guy, the chief of security there, says, we can't do that because it'll alert the passengers and we don't want to scare anyone. Like he basically said, I can't stop everybody else's vacation because your person is missing. Like, that's not our problem. That's the vibe that he was giving off.
Okay.
So immediately they get scared because they're like, what if something happened to her and they're going to take her out of the boat if you dock? So then they said, okay, let's not dock. I don't want them to dock. They're like, no, we have to dock again because I'm not stopping everybody else's vacation. People who paid to find your one missing person, which is messed up.
Yeah, of course.
Right, in all accounts. Because if I'm a person in that cruise and I hear that somebody's missing, I'd be kind of glad that you made me aware that there might be a dangerous person on the cruise.
Yeah.
Right? So I can be on the lookout. And also, you're also helping someone else.
Of course.
Like, why wouldn't you help someone else? I don't know about you, Lavon, but I've been on all cruises, and it's 7 a.m, and all I hear is, good morning. Yes, right?
Yeah.
And then they go off on a tangent on what the cruise itinerary is.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Yeah. But
But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, bro, can you please just shut the fuck up?
Right. That's okay. But when you want to hear, hey, Amy Bradley's missing. This is a picture of her. If you guys go to this channel, you know, no, we can't do that.
I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye out.
We can't do that. Oh, no, you're interrupting my vacation.
No, I'll keep an eye out.
I would keep an eye out too. Right. But anyways, we also have to keep in mind that I can't be too sure now, but I know Obama did pass a certain law on it. But back then, when you are in international waters,
yes,
even though it is a American cruise line, USA has no jurisdiction over you. Okay, keep that in mind.
What?
When you are in international waters on a cruise line, and something happens to you, USA does not have any jurisdiction. Okay? Even though you're on a American cruise line. Okay, so that means that the only people you have to look for at the very moment is the security on the ship.
Okay.
Now, this security is hired by the actual cruise line themselves.
Okay.
Right? So it's like me. Like, I want to, and I have, I guess, some certification.
Right.
But I'm not an actual law enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay? So keep this in mind. So again, going back. They didn't want to alarm the other passengers, so at this point, the parents are set in a helpless state, right? Because they're like, well, what do you mean? What do I do? So then the captain has to come down, talk to them, and he says, go back to your cabin, and we will have the staff search for her. Okay. We will have the staff search for her. So they go back to the cabin, and they wait. Now, they told them to go wait. If I was a parent, I would go look, but they weren't able to do that. But I would go look for that. How do you know that they are searching if you are not there?
Exactly.
Right? But they had full trust in these people, and they just wanted to find their daughter. So they complied with what was being said. And then they started to think, what did she do last night? Also, she disappeared. She disappeared from the cabin. She was on the balcony. No shoes were taken. It was just her lighter and cigarettes. At this point, they're even thinking, well, maybe she fell off the balcony, or she, they were like, maybe she fell off. And then the parents immediately were like, absolutely not. Like, she would not do that.
I mean, that could just happen.
One thing is throwing yourself off. Another thing is falling off. Have you seen how high those balconies are?
Yeah.
They're high as shit.
Yeah.
There's nobody falling from there. They're like, if I'm standing fully, they're like up to my collarbone.
Yeah, no, I know they're pretty high.
It's pretty high. You can't fall over. And I think they make it on purpose. I mean, unless she toppled over and fell.
Yeah.
But they're saying that she didn't do that. One, she couldn't have fallen because of how high the railing was. And two, you're saying that she committed suicide, and her parents truly believe that there was just no way that she was going to commit suicide.
I've heard that one before.
But now here's the thing. How does she walk out of the room and you not sent her?
Now what?
How does she... You've been on a cruise room before.
Yeah.
How does she get inside and walk out of the cabin and you not hear her? I mean, you know what? Let me not talk too much. I am such a deep sleeper. I don't hear anything. So scratch that. Yeah, no. I'm the type of person where I'm sleeping and I put 1,000 alarms and I will snooze all of them and not realize. So I can't even say. Okay. So Amy disappeared just hours before the trip was scheduled to arrive in Curacao. So they're getting there. They haven't gotten there. And the parents are trying everything that they can to find her. Her family desperately wanted the ship secured and searched before they docked. According to the Bradleys, they believed valuable time was lost. The passengers continued moving throughout the ship, and some reportedly began disembarking. So they're arguing with the staff, with the captain. They're supposedly searching every possible area because they were like, if she was taken, maybe she was taken by the staff. That's when everything, all that attentiveness, all that attention that she was getting, that's where it starts to become like they start to connect dots.
Okay.
Because it's like, well, maybe some staff members took her, you know? So they start to ask questions. Brad, her brother, starts going, well, she did talk to that bass player on the band, and that was staff, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but they don't talk to him. No one else had seen her. You know, everyone's saying that she was super friendly and social at the nightclub, but that's the only area that they had seen her. And then the staff there in the morning wasn't being, they weren't helping. They just weren't helping. They were like, we cannot open this boat to the island, because then there for sure they knew that they were going to lose her. Because if it was staff that was hiding her, keeping her captive in some way, the moment the ship docked, they were going to take her out.
Right.
So one way or another. So they didn't care. The ship opened. People started coming in and out. And immediately they're like, what do we do? Right? So the family feared that if Amy had been abducted, whoever was responsible could have potentially left the vessel before authorities fully understood what had happened. Eventually, searches were conducted. Announcements were then made. After people had been coming in and out of the boat, that's when they decided to make their announcements. Crew members looked through various areas of the ship, but Amy was nowhere to be found. No signs of violence, no signs of struggle, no body, no definitive evidence, just questions. They started to tell the family, well, maybe she already left for the island and you just don't know.
Yeah.
But then they're also like, why would she like not come home? Not come home, sorry. Now, why would she not come back, change, be with us, have breakfast? Like, we came here as a family.
Of course.
It makes no sense why she would go out, you know? So, they had no other option but to stay on the island.
Okay.
Because the cruise line was no help. So they're like, okay, what's our next step? They left the boat, stayed on the island, and started talking to Curacao authorities.
Okay.
Which then told them if she threw herself off this boat, she would wash up on the island because of the currents.
Right.
She would wash up, a body would wash up. There were their days and nothing showed up. Nothing washed up. Which then led to the FBI getting investigated. Or getting the investigation.
Yeah.
Once the FBI got into the investigation and then the body hadn't shown up, they fly the family back. I believe it was St. Thomas, because that's where the boat was.
Okay.
So they go back into the boat. They start conducting interviews.
Okay.
Okay. And so remember that they made these announcements very, very late.
Yes.
Okay. So when they start conducting interviews, people start to see this police enforcement, right? Now, the cruise line was very much like, if you're going to be in here investigating, I need you to look normal. You cannot alert to these passengers that you're having a whole investigation right now.
Okay.
Right? Because again, everything to them was about making money. Okay. When they start to conduct the investigation, they started with the bass player that she had been talking to at the nightclub.
Yes.
Okay. He was a member of the ship's band called Blue Orchid that was aboard the Rhapsody of the Seas. Okay. Witnesses and in the video footage that will later come up showed Amy dancing and socializing with him on the night before she disappeared. Okay. His nickname was Yellow and his full name was Alistair Douglas. Okay. He immediately became a person of interest because he was one of the last known people seen interacting with Amy before her disappearance, and some witnesses will later claim that they saw Amy with Douglas on an upper deck in the early morning hours of March 24th, 1998. Okay.
Okay.
So 2 teenage girls will come up later on. They will get interviewed because they said, we didn't know who to go to earlier. And then on top of that, we also didn't know, like, to tell you as a parent earlier that we did see Amy Bradley with this man around this time, which was the time that they hadn't embarked with yet, right?
Okay.
It was the time that maybe her dad was still waking up. She was talking to this man, and when her dad went to go see her, something may have happened to her. During all this time, they did see her on the ship. Okay. So while her dad was waking up and kind of like searching for her, she was still on the boat. Okay, so that's what that tells the family. Okay, also, at some point, Amy's brother found it suspicious that Douglas allegedly expressed sympathy about Amy's disappearance. So later on, Brad will say that he remembers a certain time that this man comes up to him and says, "I'm so sorry for your sister. I feel so guilty." And at the time, when they were still searching for Amy, he didn't really understand. Like, it didn't connect to him that how would he know about Amy's disappearance if they hadn't made an announcement yet?
Correct.
So when he finally connects the dots, it's already after the fact that they had left the ship, got back on, and FBI is in it. Okay. So Douglas was questioned by the FBI and the ship security. He was never arrested or charged. They stated that they found no evidence linking him to Amy's disappearance, and he's also consistently denied any involvement, right? Because he was the one last seen with her.
Right.
Although after he was interviewed by the FBI, I think it was her dad or Brad who was outside of the room while he was being interviewed, and he said, and he came out like this. So like he comes out and he kind of like winks at him and like gives him a thumbs up.
The guy being interviewed?
The guy who was being interviewed comes out, and I'm not sure if it was the dad or the brother who was outside waiting for him to come out. That when he came out, he smiles and he's like,
"What the hell?"
Right. So then at the time, they took it as like, I told them all the information I got.
Yeah.
Like, you're good. Or, I'm involved and they don't know it's me. You're good.
What the
Yeah. So it's all like, what the fuck? Jeez. It's just all like, what the fuck? So they did have to go back home.
Okay. Yeah.
Without her. They did have to go back home without her. But they did not stop searching for her.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have a script for the rest of this. So I'm just going to do it all in my head because it was a documentary that I did see. Plus, I've also heard 2 other podcasts about this. Okay. So the information that I've collected, after this, is that they go home, and in this time while they go home, Brad and Dad end up coming back to Curacao, which was where she was last seen or was, last been there. The authorities there are reluctant to help. Okay. At this point, they're like, there's been no bodies washing up. Police don't want to help. So they're kind of left a little hopeless at this island. And they're like, are we going to have to go home for a second time without her?
Right.
It's a small island, so people start to talk. And there's this one man, taxi driver, who is outside of the police station and tells them, I've seen your girl.
Oh.
Okay. And she is with a band of people, of bad people. Basically is what.
Band of bad people?
Yeah, like she's involved with bad people. Right? So then they're like, we can go out and search for her. But the problem is that, I forgot. I'm so sorry. What even made this whole trip happen is that in the local news, they start to put her story out. Yeah. Right? Because they're like, maybe people have seen her and we don't know. So maybe somebody comes out, and somebody does come out when they put their picture. A man comes out, and they're like, at this point, time has passed. And he's like, oh my God, a few months ago, I was in Curacao at the beach. We were cleaning our snorkeling stuff. And this girl comes, I see this girl walking down the beach, and she's with 2 men. And when she hears us talking that we speak English, she books it towards us. And she's like, help me, I need help. But the 2 men ran after her, grab her by the arms, and take her away. And what was I supposed to do? I was just like, okay. Right? He goes, but it was something very distinctive that she had on her back in a certain area. She had a tattoo. And the tattoo was of the Tasmanian devil.
Oh, I forgot the name, but yeah.
But yeah. What do you mean you forgot the name? It says Tasmanian devil.
Oh, that's his name?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he had like a name. Like,
Or like Taz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, she had that distinctive tattoo. So when he said this, everybody was like, that's her.
Yeah.
Because what are the odds that another girl
Has the same
in the same area that she would disappeared from has the same tattoo?
Yeah.
So, and he kind of described like the features, the dark features that she had, and like the eyes that were really green and things like that. So they're like, that had to be her. So it sparked the trip back. So when they get on this trip with the taxi driver, right? We're back now with Brad and Ron.
Yeah.
When they get on this trip with the taxi driver, they needed him as like an escort because there was no way that they were going to be able to go into these really sketchy areas of the island alone. They were going to get murdered themselves if they would have. So they end up searching and they find nothing.
Okay.
There was this one night when they had the window down and it was nighttime and they were driving by a certain street in the area that they had searched for already. But they were like, maybe if we search different times, different days, maybe we'll come across somebody that we know might look like her.
Okay.
So Brad will say that he was in the backseat, or he was in the car with his dad and the taxi driver with the windows down. And as they're driving by, a car is coming on the other way. Mm-hmm. And as they kind of like cross each other's paths, he swears that he hears her specific way of how, like, everybody has a specific way of saying my name, saying your name, you know. So he's like, she had a very specific, distinct way of saying my name. And that's exactly what I heard. You know, like Bradley, as they were passing by, the Brad, you know, with that southern accent, is what he heard. So he freaked out. He was like, stop. And they went back to kind of like chase the car.
Yeah.
But by the time they were able to like turn and chase the car and stuff, that they pulled up next to that car, it was just a guy in the car by himself with nobody else in there.
Oh, man.
So it could have been two things. We imagined it, yeah, you know, or that wasn't the car and she was in the car and some other car with some other person, saw them from a distance and then just took the chance and yelled it.
Oh, shit, yeah.
You know? Now, he will forever say that was her because of just the way his name was said. Also, you're in the middle of Curacao and you say Brad. Like, it's just...
That's uncommon.
Uncommon. So that was a certain instance. And again, they had to go home. Mm-hmm. And without her, sadly. They end up... I forgot the show's name. It's like a Dr. Phil kind of show. But it's not Dr. Phil.
Okay. But
they go on the show. The point is that they go on the show, a show that everybody watches. And they talk about her. They put her name, put her picture. It's the family. And a lady is watching this show. And she's like, oh my God. 3 months ago, we were in Barbados. And we saw this girl, right? I saw that girl. So she calls it in. She had been on a trip, same thing, same kind of thing. I think it was like a cruise or a trip that they had gone on the Barbados island. Mm-hmm. And they're shopping. They're doing shopping in like this little town center that they had. And she says that she remembers going to the bathroom and using the bathroom. And as she's using the bathroom, she hears somebody walk into the stall. But she says that she hears, like, if it's a bunch of people, like a group of people. And she's like, I remember distinctly there was a bunch of men in the women's bathroom.
Okay.
But then a girl talks to them back. So she kind of felt like, you know, I needed to hurry up. And so she says that when she finally gets out of the stall, it's just a girl. Green eyes, brown hair, and she's just staring at herself in the bathroom crying. So she's like, I feel bad. So I spoke to her and I said, hi, my name is whatever the girl's name was. You know, what's your name? And she was like, Amy. But she said that she said it very low, like very quiet, you know? And then she was like, you know, Amy from Virginia. She says that she said Amy from Virginia. She could have that it couldn't have been any more distinct than Amy from Virginia.
Yeah.
You know, and when the girl kept talking to her, Amy, supposed Amy, turned around and just kept looking at her kind of weird, but kind of gave her like a shh motion. Because when the girl tried to leave the bathroom, when she opened, it was just these two massive men in front of the bathroom door. So she was kind of telling her, like, you need to be quiet because they're listening on the other side.
Yeah.
You know? So then she said that when she was, you know, she played stupid and she was like, ooh, excuse me, haha, bye-bye, type stuff, you know, to like get away from the men.
Yeah. And
then now when she finally met with her husband, she told the husband, like, we have to help her. Like, she's clearly in trouble, in some kind of trouble. And then the husband was like, there's nothing we can really do because we got to go back to the ship, like our ship. And we're going to get into stuff that we don't need to be getting into, you know, because we're going to get in our trouble. Like, who's to say that we're not going to get into our own trouble?
Yeah.
You know? And then she said that it stuck with her for months. And then she sees the show. And she was like, I'm going to go in and say something to help. So, yeah, that was another witness account from that had seen Amy. That's the last witness account.
Okay.
There is another witness account before this one, which was an ex-military guy. He was in the military. Curacao is known for brothels.
Okay.
And brothels are illegal.
In Curacao?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just not, like, brothels are illegal because I don't know why. But anyways, point is that at some time, and during that time, were illegal. And him and his buddies went to this brothel.
Okay.
Right. And in the brothel, you have, you know, sex workers and the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And he says that night that he went with his two friends, he saw this really beautiful woman who came up to him. And when he saw that he had a southern accent and was from the USA, she looked at him and she said, I'm Amy Bradley and I'm from West Virginia, or I'm from Virginia, sorry. I'm from Virginia and I need help. He's like, well, there's nothing I can do, and left.
Oh, my God.
He deuced it out of there. And again, when he saw the show, or when he saw that her face was being plastered everywhere,
yeah,
that's when he decided to come out a year and something later because, you know, he's like, I got to do something. But at the time, he didn't say or do anything because
he was somewhere illegal.
He didn't want to get dishonorably discharged.
Yeah.
Now, they did end up following up on that brothel. It had burnt down.
Wow.
And clearly she had been moved to Barbados.
Yeah.
So that was the last known sighting of her. Her family did set up a website. Mm-hmm. It's called Amy Bradley is Missing.
So she's still missing?
Yes. Throughout the years, they've posted like pictures. They ended up getting the dog for her. Remember the dog she was supposed to get?
Yeah.
They ended up keeping it and kind of like, you know, it's their dog now.
Yeah.
They've completely notioned that she did not kill herself.
Okay.
They never thought that from the beginning, especially because she had so much to come home to.
Yeah.
Even though I've seen people say that you can't say that someone would have killed themselves or not killed themselves, depending on what they had going for them.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't say. Although in certain circumstances, I feel like it does, you know, but to each their own.
Yeah.
Well, today she is still missing. There's a documentary out on it. I suggest we all watch it just for awareness.
Yeah.
If you do know anything about Amy Bradley, you should tell somebody.
Yeah. Please.
Also, fun fact, my sister lived in Barbados. Remember that?
Yeah.
When documentary came out, she was living in Barbados.
She saw her?
No, I don't know about seeing her.
Oh.
I wouldn't want her to get in it with these men either.
Yeah.
You know? But it was like a weird feeling when I realized that like all of that goes on and the last known sighting of her was in Barbados.
Yeah, which is, by the way...
What? Wait, what I was saying about the website.
It's 282,000 people in Barbados.
And one of them is Amy Bradley.
Yeah.
So her parents had set up, or her family overall, set up a website. And in this website, it's there for them to get any tips on Amy Bradley, and it's also there to keep basically they put photos of what's going on in their family and like when they celebrate her birthday and things like that. And they mainly did it because they're like we need to find a way to like spread awareness on this. And then her brother was like, there has to be a way for us to find out who's seeing this. Right?
The website?
Yes, because at some point in this investigation between her getting the first thing that happened with her being disappeared and then the last thing was that one, they were sent photos of a woman on a bed, kind of like a sex ad on a website, and they sent that to an FBI analyst so that they can analyze it to see if it was even Amy.
Okay.
Because again, you're talking about years in between,
right? And
people change.
Yeah.
She had short hair. Her hair could have grown. Now she looks different. You know, you're talking about 23 years old, and right now she's like 50 something.
Yeah.
You know, so people change. So at the time when they were sent these photos, the analyst came back with like a 99.9% that could have been her.
Yeah.
So immediately that tells the family that she was put into sex work.
Have they tried to? Did they go? They spoke to somebody that was in Barbados. With the lady that was on the cruise.
Right.
Have they been to Barbados to see if anybody else has seen?
I don't think at that. I'm not.
Maybe at a
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure because around this time.
Yeah.
So here's where I get to the website. Oh, and then something happened to this family.
Oh.
While trying to find them, which was the biggest piece of crap, like anybody could ever do. And I'm gonna tell you now. But hold on, what the website? Brother finds out that there is a way of you seeing who sees the website through IP addresses, and he even finds out that through the IP address or through this like I forgot what it's called, but like this certain area, you even find out how long they're on it. On specific days, on specific holidays, on specific birthdays, there is a certain IP address that stays on the side of the pictures, on the news events that they post. Okay. It is a certain IP address that keeps repeating on these certain days from Barbados. So they're like, that has to be Amy.
Yeah.
Where she gets like this internet access for a certain amount of time. And so she like goes in to see her family and how they've aged, you know? Or it's like her captors to see if like they're any closer to like finding her.
Could be.
But I doubt it because if she's in this sex working ring, they don't care about just one girl.
Yeah.
They have others to worry about, you know? And it's like, okay.
But I mean,
so it's like people are like, how does she have access to internet and not do anything?
Yeah.
But who's to say that if she, let's say right now, she goes and she's like, I'm here. They find out that she said that.
Yeah.
So now they move her.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like a cycle. Also, since it's been so long and she's in sex work, who's to say that she might not have kids to worry about now?
Yeah.
So what makes you think that she's going to try to get home?
And not to be like dark or anything, but who's to say she's not already dead right now, you know?
Well, us talking about it right now, but at the time of when
Right. Because realistically, the girls that go into sex work are usually young.
They're
girls.
young, but again, maybe she's used for something else. Maybe she's used to handle the other girls and she's been there for so long.
You're right.
You know, and things like that. Or maybe she's off of that and they keep her around because she has these kids that are their kids, you know. Like,
that's true.
In a better sense, I hope it's that rather than like, we're just going to, you know, get rid of you. Like, it's so shitty.
Yeah.
It's just so shitty. Now, what happens to these parents, which is the last thing I'm going to say. These parents go through hell already, one, because they are dealing with a daughter who has disappeared. And they feel like for a very long time, she was right there at arm's reach.
Yeah.
And because people wouldn't listen, she's gone. Okay? That's how it feels like. when they get back, they get this email, letter, whatever you want to call it, about this PI investigator who says that he has found Amy. She is in a brothel. She is surrounded by, or she's like in this custody of these Colombian men who live in a house that is barbed wired, whatever, all this crap. And he says, the only thing is that I need more than one person to help me get her out.
Okay.
And so I need you to send me money.
Oh,
okay. I need you to send me money.
Mm-hmm.
So they send him money. Okay. They send him money. And he's like, he does it like about a couple times where he's like, oh, I got the personnel and they have assured me that, well, anyways, point is, shorter story is that they end up giving money to this guy 2 or 3, 4 times. Okay. And each time it's because my personnel, I need to pay them, or, I need housing to get to where she is. And then lastly, it was, I need $150,000 to be able to pay and reinforce my people to be able to go in and, what's it called? And just be able to rescue her. So they're like, we have Amy right there. We just need to give this guy money.
Yeah.
Right? It was all a scam.
Of course.
Okay. FBI starts to investigate it. It was all fraud. He was living it up in a full vacation in not even Curacao. He was in Miami. But you know what the shitty part about the whole thing is that the very last time that he's like, send me $150,000 and I will rescue your daughter. All you have to do is go to Miami and wait for word for me, because that's where you're going to pick her up. So they go to Miami, wait for word for me. Wait for my word on the next thing to do, and you will have your daughter.
Right.
They send him the $150,000. They go to Miami. They wait for him, all for the FBI to go and be like, it was all fraud. Like, he was never near your daughter.
Did they end up catching that guy?
They did. He went to prison.
Did they get?
He even sent pictures. He even sent pictures of what was her at the beach. The beach was not in Curacao. It was in Miami. It was a girl who just stenciled, like, tattoos and stuff, who just stenciled it there. And then he, purposely, botched the picture because he's like, he's investigating. He's all the way at the end. He can't get any closer. So it's, pixelated on purpose. So they really thought it was her. Oh, and then it was her and a guy. So the guy was also, involved in it, too. Yeah. They all went to prison for certain things.
Did the family get compensated back, or?
At the end, it was $250,000 that they had given that guy.
Damn.
And he was living it up in, this forever vacation in Miami.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, the biggest piece of shit anybody could have ever done. That's crazy. And all the while, they thought that they were getting their daughter back.
That's sad.
People are something else.
Yeah.
And so I will say it again. If anybody knows anything about Amy Bradley or anything about any disappearing woman, man, child, mom, dad, daughter, son, we should always try to speak up as much as we can.
Yeah. You know what? We should get a website for the podcast and have a section of missing people, missing persons. Mm-hmm. And just have everybody listed there. And then, if you have any, I guess you could DM us any information or anything. And
we could set that up.
Yeah.
Just to get the word out and be able to be in contact as much as possible, because if there is any chance of finding someone and, saving them, we should take it.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that concludes my case on today's podcast. We will be trying out another coffee shop next time.
Yes, we just gotta find one. So we're doing locals. We gotta make sure we.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do locals.
Yeah.
At some point, we want to be going across the country to try a coffee shop.
Yeah. So you're in another state. If you're listening from another state and you have a coffee shop there that you'd like us to try, we'll put it on a list. And then
we're so open to actually going over there and just trying the coffee.
Yeah, I'm down.
We're little addicts and stuff, But anyways, if you have Instagram, follow us on Coffee Meets Murder Podcasts. Yep. That is also the name to our TikTok. You should also go there.
Yep.
Please comment and like and interact with us. We would love that. If there's any specific case that you would like for us to cover, also DM us that. Leave it on a comment. Send us an email. Whatever you think is best, we will answer. We also have an X account, right? Twitter,
Yes.
X, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
It is also Coffee
And a
Meets Murder.
Facebook page. Yeah, it's also Coffee
Facebook
Meets
page.
Murder.
Yes, we should open up a group.
For people, yeah.
For people to talk about the cases and stuff. So that'll be coming soon. And that is it for today.
Yep.
Alrighty, have the wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.